Hi, my name's Lee, and this is the YSXV Week 2 recap. This week, we focused on framing and composition. Framing refers to everything that you can see in your frame. So, for example, everything in my four corners right now is what's in frame. Composition refers to where things are placed in the frame. For example, I am completely centered in my frame right now. Three different types of composition are rule of thirds, where there are four imaginary lines here and here that split the frame into 9 boxes. Symmetry, which splits the photo down the middle and there's equal weight on each side of the photo. And leading lines, which are naturally occurring lines in a photo that draw the viewer's eye to the subject. Here's a clip of our guest artist for the week, Erin Davis, explaining how she uses different kinds of composition in her work.
This is a photo I took at Pride 2018, and I think it's a good example of rule of thirds because you have this photo split into three with the subject in the foreground and the other parallel side of the photo, this cop car, which is in the background, but still a clear element of the photo. And what this really great thing that happens with rule of thirds is that if you're lucky, you can always have something as a central point in the photo, even though the structure of it is, breaking it basically into three parts, which is the flag here. So these two photos, this one right here is a pretty good example of using a line that's more of a curve than anything. I would say it's definitely one that leads your eye to the top of the frame, though. It's working in different shapes to create the same sense of like leading the eye to the focal point, which is, of course, his face. But I kind of like experimented a lot. Like, I don't know if you guys have met Jabari, but we worked through like different ways to frame him and his body in the photo so that he felt larger than life. And a really good way to do that was me literally laying on the ground on my back, trying to like angle the camera as upward as possible. With this photo would be an example of symmetry because I think it's funny because we literally used a mirror for this one. And so, but mirror shots are tricky. Mirror shots are tricky because you can't be in the photo. And so we had to figure out a way to split the frame in half and have two halves come together and create a whole while they're still interacting with each other. And so it's still a really good example of like, okay, here's this part of the photo, here's this part of the photo. There's a really good sense of balance because both parts of the frame are filled, but you can also, there's a relationship between the Jabari here and the Jabari here, almost if they're two different people.
This week's assignment is to shoot 10 photos using at least one of the different kinds of compositions and try using more than one perspective when capturing a photo. Remember to take photos in pursuit of justice, either showing a hope for justice, injustice, or justice itself. Also, make sure to check your emails frequently, looking out for project deadlines and resources from Rachel as the weeks go on. Thank you guys so much. Happy creating.